So we are back with another guide. This time is on how to achieve an A or an A star in A-level chemistry in 1 month. But the question really is, who the hell am I to be telling you all of this? So hi, I achieved 3 A stars in my A-levels last year, so in biochem and maths. And my aim for this video is to, it's in the title really, give you that step-by-step guide because I know how stressed you guys are. I know how scared you are as well. I don't blame you. I was also in that position. So please let me, hold your hand and let's do this together, okay? What I'm going to tell you in this video really, really did work for me and my friends that I've spoken to. So please let this video work for you as well. So let's begin. First, a little disclaimer. This video can be used by anyone doing A-level chemistry with the whatever exam board. However, I did OCRA. But that's fine. There are just a little, little bits that are specific to OCRA, but the rest can be applied to anyone if you're doing AQA, EdXL, whatever. So let's look at the grade boundary so we know what we're dealing with, AQA, to get that A star, you need 250 out of 300. So you can only lose 50 marks. If you want an A, you need 210. So 210 out of 300. So you can only lose 90 marks across 3 papers. OCR, OCI, this one. So, with AQA, I couldn't find the breakdown per paper, but for OCR, they're lovely and, not really, not that lovely, but they did give us the breakdown. And if you just look at paper 2, so synthesis and analytical technique, so essentially organic chemistry, 90 out of 100 is an A star. I remember, referring to the 2019 grade boundaries last year because they told my year that the grade boundaries are going to be similar, right? And at that 2019 it was also 90% for an A star for paper 2, and I remember thinking like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. Scary. It was very scary because I was like, what if I just make silly mistakes? It's bound to happen, isn't it? So yeah, you don't have much leeway for silly mistakes. You'd rather want to lose marks because you didn't know how to answer the question, opposed to you knew how to do it, but you made the silly mistakes. Now that hurts deeply. So these are just the grade boundaries, so you know what you're up against. Now, I need to have a little, heart-to-heart talk with you. You need to realize something. Chemistry questions or chemistry past papers and the whole A level is beautiful. I know, you might be thinking, what the hell is she talking about? But the thing is, the questions repeat themselves every single year. Every single year. I don't know why, but I'm very thankful it did, so. But the reason is that how many times can they really, genuinely rephrase or reword a question? With biology, it's very simple. Questions change so much because there's so much leeway and so much things that you can tap into with content. But with chemistry, it's very black and white. Okay, if you're learning enthalpy changes, well, you know how to do the calculations. What affects it and stuff. What else can they ask you, right? So remember, the ball is in your court for A-level chemistry, and the grade boundaries for AQA and OCR are very high. Okay, they are very, very high. So you need to get from the top of my head, I think it's 83% above, something like that. So that is high. Okay, and hence why the grade boundaries, reflect how loads of people actually do really well, in chemistry, as I said, because the questions repeat themselves. So let's go into the steps. We have 4 steps. Okay, so number 1, make sure all your content is tip top. Step 2, focus on high yield topics. 3, memorization. And 4, past papers. Okay, so with step 1, make sure all your content is tip top. Listen, they can't ask you something that you weren't taught, right? With biology, they can they can go on a mad one, but with this, they can't. It's either you know it or you don't. So you need to make sure that you know how to do Born-Haber cycles. You need to make sure you know I don't know, like the color changes in certain practicals. You need to know everything. So make sure all your content is tip top. But why should you just go read a textbook? You don't need to. When you have YouTube, I am such a firm believer on using YouTube as like revision. It's amazing. How can people teach you everything without you doing anything? Like this. It's just mind-boggling how it works. Anyways, I digress. If you're doing OCRA, these are the two channels I recommend. Of course, there are other channels, right? But let me tell you how I use these. My chem guy, this guy is incredible. Okay, he has everything you can possibly want. He has walkthrough videos, so exam question walkthrough videos on every single thing, every single topic in OCRA, everything. And then not only that, he has all the content, like videos explaining them. Like what? That's amazing, isn't it? So definitely use my chem guy, Mr. Murray Green. I didn't find him out until like a month, actually a month before the chemistry papers. But my god, his videos are amazing. I think if you go on his channel and go to the playlist and just watch like year 1, year 2, the things he says really allows you to consolidate what you've learnt and what you know, and the way he explains things as well is very beneficial. So those are the two channels I do recommend. For AQA, I mean, I didn't do that exam board, but I've seen from the comment sections of this channel's videos that is very, very good. So, this is a channel you can use. But of course, there are other channels out there. And all you really need to do is a simple search. Write your exam board, write A-level chemistry, write the topic, for example, and see whatever comes up and watch them. So that's your first step. You need to make sure all your content is tip-top. Because how can you answer exam questions if you don't know what it's about, really? Okay, chemistry is black and white. Biology is colourful in a way because there's so much uncertainty and all of that. But chemistry, you know the content, you do exam questions, you get the marks. Finished. I know that there's a proper simplification, but trust me on it. And then step 2 is focus on high yield topics. What does this mean? It means that, you see, if you just go onto PMT and get up like 6 paper 1s for chemistry and look through them all, you'll notice that literally all the topics repeat themselves every single year, every single time. So you really want to focus on high yield topics. So for example, I'm telling you, these are just examples. It's not just limited to what I've just written. I just wrote a few. Spectroscopy, you are guaranteed, okay? Guaranteed. A question on NMR or like IR spec at the end of your like organic paper, so paper 2. It's bound to happen. Why wouldn't they put it? And you know how many marks that is? That's like 6 marks. But that's just the last question. What if they put like 3 or 4 spectroscopy questions throughout the paper? Oh, the amount of marks you can get. Okay, so this is why you focus on high yield topics so that you can increase your marks ASAP. Next, you have like rate of reactions, equilibrium. They're always talking about the Haber process every single time. I don't know why, but they like it. Calculations. Do not ignore your calculations. My chem guy, his buffer solution calculation videos are top tier. I'm telling you. So just use it. Make sure all your calculations are good. They aren't that hard. You just need to know the method. Acids and bases, enthalpy changes, lattice enthalpy, redox, electrode potentials, and transition elements. This last one, right, don't ignore it. I know it's probably the last topic you learnt in school and you're like, I just learnt it a few weeks ago, I don't need to revisit it. Oh, darling, you do. Do you know how many colours you need to know? Do you know how many equations you need to understand and be able to essentially regurgitate in the exam? It is bound to come up. So please do not ignore transition elements. Okay, and to be honest with you, nothing's missed in the exams, in the papers. Whatever comes up in paper 1, as in within those modules, will come up in the paper. These examiners don't hit or miss with these chemistry exams. They put everything in. That's why the first step was make sure you know all the content. I actually saw this video that was like, revise these topics for an A on A star in A-level chemistry for EQA. So you guys use it, Comment section seems really good. And I did watch the video, and it was this person really did put some analysis into it of what you could revise. That might be high yield. But just as a disclaimer, just because a video has told you, yeah, these are the predictions, doesn't mean that, these are right. Take predictions with a grain of salt. Use them alongside your revision. Maybe, focus a bit more on them, or just appreciate that, these things might come up. Nobody knows. Remember, none of these people who put videos out there actually know. They've probably decided that these are going to be my predictions based on analysis of past papers and what comes up in terms of frequency and stuff. But they are very useful. So do use predictions, with caution. Do not substitute predictions for thinking, oh, I don't need to revise anything else that's not told or not said. Don't do that, okay? Cool. So, memorization, step 3. How can you do a chemistry paper, let's say paper 2, organic, without knowing the synthesis routes? Or, mechanisms? Impossible. You can't do it. The moment you really, and I'm telling you right now, you really 100% know exactly how to do the synthesis routes and the mechanisms, your marks are gonna skyrocket. Skyrocket. It's true. It's like you want to speak, Italian, but you're not going to use Italian vocabulary. Like, what? It makes no sense. Same thing here. If you want to get a high mark, you need to use the chemistry vocabulary. In this case, let's say for paper 2, it's through mechanisms, through synthesis routes. So OCRA, if you literally search up OCRA, A-level chemistry, synthesis routes, there's a whole PDF for it, and I just screenshotted it here. So you have this, and this. But for your exam board, I'm sure they also have it, so just swap out OCRA for your exam board instead. Memorize them, man. It's not that deep, really. You spent 2 years in your lessons basically being hammered to learn these. The things that I'm telling you to memorize are the backbone of your papers, so learn them. So we have transition element, colours and equations, synthetic routes for both aliphatic and alicyclic, and mechanisms. And there's many more, but start with these, and then the rest of them, you'll pick up and you'll realise, oh, I need to memorize that because it keeps coming up. Okay. And then 4 past papers. What's new? How can you do an exam if you don't know how they're going to style the questions, or how you should approach it if you've never done one? The amount of people have told me they haven't touched a past paper, I'm scared. I'm not scared for you, but it's fine. Just start ASAP if you haven't touched them, or if you haven't finished them already. Get the ball rolling. After this video, start one. I don't care what time it is, just start one. Try and do most of them in exam conditions, but some of them, take your time with them so that you can get into the muscle memory of accuracy and success, really. Yeah. Now, let me give you a little bit of an advice for OCRA. There's this thing called legacy papers, okay? These are from the old spec. Now, what I'm going to tell you might shock you if you didn't know already, but when I did my exams last year, I am not even kidding, okay? It still shocks me till this day. My last question, I think it was on paper 2, it was an NMR question. That whole question was lifted directly from one of the legacy papers. So one of these old spec papers. Like, hello? What? Crazy. It's insane. They literally lift questions up from these old specs and put it into our A-level papers. If you've already done them, come on guys, let's cheat the system here. Okay, maybe I should have changed my wording, but let's play the game. Do these old spec questions, especially if you're struggling with organic chemistry, because there's so many papers to go through and there's such good repetition as well. So here's what I'm talking about, yeah? Unit 4, I think that's F324 papers. That's all about organic chemistry. Use them so much, okay? When you say, oh, I don't have any more exam questions and stuff, come here. Go on to PMT. When you put on You press like A-level, then chemistry, and it has like, the past papers for the new spec. But if you scroll down to the end, this is where you can find all of this. Personally, I have not seen the AQA legacy papers. They might be good. I just don't know. You have a look if you're doing AQA as well. But if you're doing OCR, this is a cheat. Okay, this is just amazing. These legacy papers. So use them. Okay. There's just one other thing I wanted to say, that when you do past papers, make sure you do them for exam conditions, because with chemistry it is so easy, so easy to make silly mistakes. You might do a paper at home and you might be like, yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. But then you do your exam in the exam hall, sports hall, and you're like, oh, this is not good. This is not good. You see, when your conditions change and when you're in a really stressful environment, such as, your A-level exams, which determine literally whether you can get into your uni or not, or your apprenticeship, or, whatever path you want to take, you're going to be stressed. You're going to panic. So, when you do your past papers, do them in exam conditions, right? But also, try and think to yourself and develop strategies to kind of eliminate if you panic. Let's say you saw a question, you're like, oh my god, what is happening? I'm stressed. I don't know. I just don't know. Make those strategies beforehand so that when you're in the exam, and God forbid you're in that position where you're like, someone save me, okay, you know what to do. So if you, let's say, before the exam, your heart is like literally going to come out of your chest, think about what you're going to do in that case. And if you're like a very calm person and you think, nah, it's not going to happen to me, it's going to happen to you. I'm the most calmest person for an exam. But my god, I literally got so stressed. Like, my heart rate was increasing so much because I knew how much was riding on these exams, right? And if you're someone that really gets, that stressed out and you need to calm down, I think you should drink some rose water, really. It really worked. You can get rose water from anywhere, but just before the exam and stuff, take it, or drink it, sorry, and it genuinely calms you down. I don't know exactly how, what the biology behind it is, but rose water is the one. I feel like a mum now saying all of this, but yeah, you need to prepare for the worst. This is what I'm trying to say. This is why past papers are so important. Not only are you being able to identify what you're getting wrong, you're identifying what your strategies are, and you're identifying what the worst and best case scenarios will be in terms of your performance and how you act on the day. So those are the 4 steps. However, this is it's not my video if I don't end off saying all of this. Basically, you need to think about your mindset. Personally, these are 2 quotes that I really loved to repeat in my head for chemistry. Number 1, you know all of this. I mean, hello, I've spent all this time revising, going to lessons, putting in the extra work. Of course I know all of this. And if you feel like you don't, well then, get yourself into a position where you know all the content ASAP. But me, I knew. I'd revised. I'm going to get the results that I want. You need to have faith in yourself, because if you don't, nobody can instill it in you. It might be artificial, but you need that natural, kind of not innate, but yeah, just natural inclination to trust yourself. And the second thing is, this is your paper. Okay, you own it, so act like it. Remember, the moment you put your name, your surname, your candidate number, this is you. This is it. Without sounding so dramatic, but it kind of is. This is your paper. So honestly, just bang it out. Just do it. Smash it out the park. I really want you to, leave that exam hall, that sports hall, feeling like, yeah, man, I did that. That's me. That's all my work. And I want you to feel proud. So with 1 month left, get yourself into that position to be in that position. So, by following the steps and whatever you deem fit based on how you've been revising, based on your situation at this moment in time. And please, guys, try not to make any silly mistakes. We don't really have any margins to be playing around with. when you look at the grade boundaries, they're very high. And then I also want to say, make a reminders list. These 3 post and notes over here, literally just examples. I think it was when I was doing organic chemistry. Make reminders so that you can, review them really throughout this month, but also before your exam as well. Just get everything into the front of your head so that you don't make mistakes again. One time you make a mistake, that's fine. Second time, that's on you. This is your problem. You need to solve it. So, a good way that I did it was, of course, doing the questions and learning the content again if I need to. But reminders lists really, really do work out. And yeah, so you got this. I trust that you know what to do now. I trust that you're going to smash it and you're not going to doubt yourself. And if you are doubting yourself, think about it objectively, okay? Don't get so into your head. I know it's very hard, but just take a step back and don't even care about your feelings at this point. Just do the work, objectively speaking, and then everything else should follow through. And just imagine, when you finish the exam and you smashed it, that feeling of immense happiness you're going to get. Don't give up until you see the results, guys. And yeah, that is the end of this guide. I really, really do hope this was beneficial for you. And, comment down below if you need any advice, have any questions. Keep yourselves accountable amongst yourselves. Just make the whole comment section a collaborative space. And yeah, very best of luck, guys. And update me with how your revision goes. See you later. Bye.